So I know nothing, I knew nothing at all about business. But I had to learn as we go along because the business was just destined to grow. If you have a business that is growing and you have no choice than to grow with the business.
Aye.
Master Coach Apostle Courtney McLean and Business Coach Zidane Sinister are powered up to share their expertise on the business end.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is another episode of the Business End Show. And here on the Business End, we provide real and practical solutions for persons advancing their business and putting their business forward. Today is no different. We have in studio a man that is a seasoned entrepreneur, a seasoned and serial entrepreneur, and a real enthusiastic person. And we have with us today also my co-host, Mr.
Courtney McLean. That's Matrix. That's a Courtney McLean.
Yes, the Apostle Courtney McLean is with us. Good afternoon, sir. How are you doing, sir?
I am doing great. I'm excited.
Yeah,
Big things going on.
And we have a big guest here today on the Business End. Today, ladies and gentlemen, our guest is Mr. Dalian Blake, the CEO of Promo Biz Marketing Events. He's also CEO of 7 Detail Event Rental and Decor. Today, we have in studio Mr. Blake, who has been involved in one of the major beverage companies in Jamaica, where he helped to coordinate the marketing initiatives for that beverage company. He is also have over 15 years experience in the field,
15
Apostle.
years.
Over
15.
Over
That's triple grace, you know. That's triple grace.
That's triple grace. Over 15 years, Apostle, where he has done marketing and promotion work for, get this, public sector companies, private sector companies, non-profit organizations, get this, Fortune 500 brands. He is here. He's here to share his experience with you.
Hold on. Let me just rub shoulders.
Rub some shoulders on him so something can run out. He has been here on many trade shows, Apostle.
Yes.
Today we have in studio with us Mr. Dalian Blake. Welcome, sir. How are you doing this afternoon?
I am great, and I just want to say thank you. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Yes.
Good afternoon today.
Yes.
It's a pleasure being here, hoping to share and inspire a couple of people.
Inspire you will, and it's certainly a pleasure to have you here today. Well, let me start it like this. You have a range of products and services offered through your various business ventures. Tell us more about the Promo Biz marketing events and also the 7 Details event rental and decor.
All right, so PromoBiz, which is the main company for me. This is pretty much an events management and marketing agency. So we handle everything that has to do with events management and marketing, or field marketing to a certain extent. So whether it's your trade shows, your expo, your corporate event, whether it's a conference, you name it, stage, lighting, everything that has to do with events, that is PromoBiz. As for the marketing part of it, yes, we do campaign development, promotions, road shows, everything that has to do with marketing initiative.
That sounds like a man that you need to get to know if you have an event.
Yes, and then go ahead.
No, go ahead, you go ahead, sir.
Now, 7 Details, which is the other business. Now, that is the company. This is a company that was formed later down to really complement PromoBiz. So this is more the softer side, the decor, the rentals. So we offer everything that has to do with events, decor, and rentals. Your chairs, your tables, chandeliers, everything that really make the event nice and sleek.
Listen, I was at this man's wedding.
Yes.
And if that is anything to go by,
yes.
Me never gone a wedding like that.
Classic.
Brother,
classic.
Drone. Take video shot.
Yes.
All me nervous. No man, it was done with such level of excellence.
Yes.
I was very, very, very impressed with him and just how everything was coordinated. So he's a man of excellence.
Yes.
He's a man of excellence. All right. Now, the Bible speaks about 4 streams in the book of Genesis, 4 rivers really. And we use that and we pull that to say that every person should be seeking different streams of income. And we realize that you have streams of income, What has the journey been like in terms of establishing businesses so that you could create these streams?
All right, you know, as you use the word journey, for me, it has been a journey. You know, just like you're traveling to somewhere, you know, leaving from here going to Montego Bay. So you have different terrain to face, you know, different weather condition. So it has been like that for me as an entrepreneur. You know, I've gone through the lows, the nothing, the plenty, you know, you name it. So it has been a journey, but I embrace it. You know, I love it. You know, it has been such a fulfillment for me because I've seen where, you know, being an entrepreneur or a business owner, it has transformed my life. You know, give me a different outlook. You know, people would say, you know, Jamaica this, Jamaica that, but I tell you something, man. If you understand and you know how to navigate this little island, you can do big things.
I say it all the time, you know, people leaving their country, coming to our country, you know, and they're making it, you know, while the people in our country say, no, no, go on.
There you go.
That's mindset.
Mindset.
That's mindset. Powerful, powerful. So it's a journey. It has been a journey. You know, he said something a while ago that doing business has really, he didn't word it like this, but it's like he has grown, he has developed by virtue of him doing the business. Is that what you said?
Yes, man. Yes, man. Because you see, when I started business, you know, I know nothing about business. You know, I just started business because, you know, and trying to meet ends, trying to do something, trying to pay my bills, you know. But as soon as the opportunity came and I realized that there was something here, you know, and when I walk into that opportunity, then, you know, a whole heap of changes took place in my life. You know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the business because I've been doing, you know, a lot of presentation and all of that since so I can tell you that being a business owner, I've grown a lot of things.
It helps with your development. It helps with your development. I love it.
Having been on that journey to develop, and you have certainly seen the fruits of your labor, I'm sure it must not have been easy. And to have managed several business ventures such as the two that we have mentioned here today, how do you navigate and how do you manage having those multiple streams of income?
All right, so for me, one of the things that is important is for you to prioritize, you know, prioritize the day. You don't just get up and run into the office and start do everything you see, you know. I normally stay up late at night and plan my day, you know, make notes. So when I get into the office, I know exactly, you know, the things that I'm going to knock out first. So I prioritize my day. Also, you know, time leadership, you know, control your time. You get what I'm saying? Because if you don't manage or control your time, then you're all over the place for the entire day.
Shameless plug here, Apostle, but the man is saying that you should plan, daily plan. And that sounds like a wire to win.
Productivity planner.
Productivity planner. That's shameless plug, shameless plug. But sir, go ahead, continue.
No, one other thing that worked for me is that apart from prioritizing my day and all of that, getting the right people into the right position. You take off a whole heap of pressure from me. You know, selecting the right talents. Now, once you have the right talents, and a lot of the things that you would have to, you know, get up and try to get done yourself, people use their initiatives and get it done. So the right people are so important as a business owner with multiple streams of income.
All right, so we're talking about your business, we're talking about your promo, we're talking about your events, coordination, the entire. I mean, if somebody wants to reach out to you, what kind of, how will you monitor to ensure that they get quality? How do you do that?
All right, so if somebody come to me, you know, or a client or something and say, all right, I need to get this done, or I need to do this for the business. The first thing I do, I sit down and I have a conversation and, you know, have a meeting with them, understand the issues that they're facing. Then identify, or they would outline their objectives. And once they do that, then, you know, we develop a KPIs. You know, we develop a KPI. And then from the KPI, you know, we can determine the success of the business or the performance of the business or whatever project it might be.
Okay.
So he meets the person, he gets the objectives, he puts them in a KPI, and then from the KPI he's saying he judges his success by the measure of how he has completed these KPIs. So the thing that I want our listeners to understand is in every business, in any service, you must have key objective, key points that you want to ensure that you're meeting for your client. Because so often or not, us as business owners, when we provide a service or a product, we are actually trying to solve whatever the customer wants. The customer has those targets. We have to meet those targets and not the targets of ourselves, Apostle.
That's good, because what he said a while ago, he sits with the client,
Yes.
and ensures he understands
Yes.
what it is that the client wants to achieve.
Right.
And once you can encapsulate that, then you run with that, and your KPIs come from that.
Yeah,
You-
man. Also, they might have issues that they're trying to solve. And that's where you come in, because you now need to come up with a plan to help them to solve those issues. Yes.
I like it.
Yes, so you have the KPIs, and you can measure where your success is or how your success has been. Let me ask you this. I'm sure you must have had some not so good moments,
Yes, man.
and we call them not so good moments. You must have had some learning
Putting it
experience.
nicely.
Yes, putting it nicely. Some of those not so good moments, what have you learned from those experiences? And some of those things that you have learned, would you care to share with our viewers and listeners?
All right. So as I said earlier, when I got into business, I know nothing about business, right? So a whole heap of mistakes. I've made a lot of mistakes. So some of the lessons that I've learned personally is that you need to have a solid business foundation,
Yes.
right? So you need to have a vision, a mission, some core values. You need to get your staff aligned with these, visions and stuff like those. There are some basic things that you would need to ensure that the business can really function properly. So I've made some mistakes in those areas, and those are lessons that I have learned. And I would advise every single business person or prospective business person, start with the foundation. You get what I'm saying? Get your team aligned with the vision,
Yes.
right? Look at your what you call it now, your policies or your
Yes.
behind the scenes, your
Yes.
processes.
Yes.
Look at these things and get them up to par.
So what he's saying is, Apostle, that when you mention foundation, what he's trying to say is that we must have a framework and a system in place to allow you to adapt to changes
Yes.
and adapt to the environment,
Yeah.
to push your company forward. It's like building a building, Apostle. If you don't have a solid foundation, doesn't matter what layers you add to that,
Yes.
your building will crumble. So once you have the proper procedures in place, the proper organizational structure, proper policies,
Yes.
proper equipment, and people, you're able to add.
But
everything going
but Sir
forward.
Zadine,
Yes,
like myself, many of us when we started,
Yes.
we never have them foundation.
But that's what he's saying. Do not go down that road of not having those foundations to start. Build it out before you
Let me
expand.
ask him. Let me ask him. When you start, did you have it, or when you realized the need, you developed as you move?
I had to develop. As I said, I know nothing about business. I just started business, just to meet ends and pay some bills. It was just an opportunity, but I always have big vision. You get what I'm saying? Even when I was working with other companies and agencies, because I used to work with a company like myself, but I always see myself as one of the guys that leads something like this, right? But I didn't know how. So when the opportunity came, as a matter of fact, I tell you something, it was first started out as a dream. Dream that I had this agency, I had this company, and start a little thing. So I knew nothing at all about business. But I had to learn as we go along because the business was just destined to grow. So everything, if you have a business that is growing and you have no choice than to grow with the business.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
What are some of the challenges that you would have had in business thus far, and how has those challenges and how you dealt with them helped to shape your future
All right, so
in business?
a lot of challenges, but some of the main ones that I've encountered, like commitment, the culture of this new generation, I would call it a little bit the mindset, I would consider it a little bit shallow, So those are some of the issues that I've encountered in business where, you have people who are not thinking about the bigger picture, they're thinking about today. And you're always going to have issues or encounters, situations like this when you have people. So that is, I mean, commitment is one of the big ones for me.
So this generation, how have you been able to navigate though in terms of overcoming? How do you mitigate? How do you deal with the challenge in order to not sink?
All right. So one of the things that I for me that work is that I know my business, so I'm able to work in any department of my business. So it's easy for me to take a new individual and get the job done in any area of my business. And that is one of the reasons. That is one of the ways in which I navigate around these challenges, because you're always going to find people with lack of commitment and the culture, the mindset. We have issues, especially with the young men. We have a lot of issues with them because of the mindset. So, I'm able to look at them and say, look, because when we're out there doing work or doing a job, so I don't just go there in a nice shirt and all of that. I jump in and I help them and I show them. And if I have issues that with a particular group or a worker, I will carry a new set of guys and go out there, and they know nothing about what we're doing, and we get the job done. So they learn and they understand that whether or not the job is gonna be completed.
What I'm seeing here is a mega opportunity. It's a burden, but it's an opportunity for mentorship. It's an opportunity to create a system within businesses for persons to be mentored. Because we can't get it done without the people. There's no way. There's no way, All right. So another thing that we want to ask you, Dalian, is what are some of the wins and the highlights in business so far? What are some of the things that when you think about it, you skin your teeth?
Boy, there are a couple of them, right? And one of the big ones for me, and I will always talk about this, is that, seeing a small little idea, become what it is now. That's, for me, it's a big win, no matter how you look at it. If you ask me, I never expect this. So every time I look around, sometimes, even before I become a Christian, I just lie down on my back and I say, thank you, Father. It's a win. My life has changed major. From in the early 90s, I've not worked for a company, so to speak. I start doing my thing because I entered into other business, But this for me was a big win. Another thing is that I am big on grooming young people, help them along the way. So it always brings me great pleasure when I see a young teenager or a young adult leave a university, come through the business and become professional and go there and hold them on, start doing well. Sometimes even these guys, they come back and provide opportunity for me, the business. So that's a big win for me also. I can tell you I have a young lady that worked with my business, straight out of Karamak, worked with my business, and then left the island to complete some studies in the US. And she's now in Amazon, Washington, working as a marketing.
That's big.
In a marketing role.
That's big.
And the only experience she had was working with PromoBiz. So these are things for me that I consider as a win-win.
So would you say that the wins, they have shaped your outlook on business, your outlook on life, and how?
Yes, of course, these wins will and has shaped my outlook on life, because when you look at people, you realize that business is not about just for yourself. It's for other people. It's not about just the money. You're helping young people. Somebody who could have gone one direction, and you help them, set them on a track where they can see life in a different light. So for me, it has shaped my outlook in business. Not just about money.
We want our listeners and our viewers to get this. There is ministry in business.
Yes.
And when you embrace it with the right mindset, you will embrace also a mission to develop those you come in contact with, and to leave them better.
Yes.
And what a place the world would be if every business carried that DNA and that kind of a mission to make people better.
Yeah.
That's powerful. Go ahead, Zid. Go ahead.
So beyond what you have mentioned thus far, which you have mentioned a lot, but beyond what you have mentioned thus far, what are some of the other advice would you give to potential business owners who want to take their business to the next level, or those persons who desirous of enter into business and would like to take their business there, where you have been?
All right. So one, if you don't have a business idea, just get an idea. Get an idea. It doesn't matter how simple it might sound or look. Just don't limit it. Get an idea and be willing to spend time with the idea. Pump your last dollar into that idea. Because if you don't do it, nobody's not going to do it for you. And if you don't do it, it means that you don't believe in your idea. Get an idea. Be willing to pump your last time, your last effort into that idea. Don't leave it. Don't change your mind about it. Work that idea until it works for you. And that's exactly what worked for me. For me, it was like I don't have an option, so I had to make it work. You get what I'm saying? So when you have that mindset, this must work, then it will eventually work. It's the mindset, you know.
Yes.
If you get into it and you
Yeah.
start thinking about other things that you know, this not work after a month, you jump into something else. Business, as I said earlier, it's a journey, so you have to go through the different conditions. You have to go through the lows, right?
Mm-hmm.
And ask anybody who in business, you're not going to enter it unless you have some major inheritance where you just walk into a business and it work. You have to work it from the ground up.
So you must be so convinced in this idea and this plan that you're willing to invest. And it's like you shouldn't have no other alternatives. There's no jump ship with this. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, because, you know, people will say that, you know, you have to know when to give up. But I honestly believe that I could have given up long time based on some situation, based on some obstacle, based on some t-shirt name what people call me. I and some of the people who called me t-shirt back then. T-shirt man back then. So give up. Give up. No, it's not an option.
Yeah.
Work that idea. You know, you try different ways then. Before you give up, try different ways, try different angle, try different avenue. But keep going at it. You see, once you keep going at that idea, you will eventually master it.
Yeah.
And once you master it, then it must work.
I'm loving it.
You can't be afraid of failures. You must fail to learn. I feel
like you're preaching. I mean, listen, I soak me, I say,
yeah, man.
I soak it.
I feel so many times, but guess what? I never see another option.
Yeah.
So I work through the failures, and I keep going until I master it.
Yeah.
Now I have clients that once they hear my name and say, I'm good. I wasn't like that when I just started. It's just working at this idea of working until I can do it with my eyes closed. And then you start to the return and your investment or the return, and you start get the reward. Don't expect to walk into it and start get the niceness, all the perks. Work it, bro.
Thank you. Thank you for working it so that a platform would have been created to employ, and not just to employ persons, but so that you could be here today inspiring not just a nation, but nations, and so many persons. We're not even sure how far this is, how many persons this is reaching, but I know lives are being transformed. So I say a big thank you. Thank you. What's next for you? What's next for business? What's next for all the businesses? What's next for you? What's in your heart?
I am loaded. If you talk to my wife, many ideas. So for ProMobiles itself, I am looking at my my succession plan right now. It's not that I'm retired. It's just that I want to be able to do other things. So I'm looking at the people who I can put in position and they can continue with this. So I can now trigger the other ideas. You know, I have other ideas that I want to get out there. So for ProMobiles, I'm looking at that. And I'm also looking into, you know, strengthen my production aspect of it. The stage light, the sound, the video cameras, all of these things. So this is a direction that I'm looking to take the business, right? And then for some details, you know, that one got a hit in COVID. You know, we start, you know, push forward again, and it's really to get it out there. It was mainly decor and rentals. Now we want to go into sales because, you know, we assess the industry and we realize there's a need. Once you identify a need in any sector, there's a business opportunity.
It's business.
So where and how can persons contact you if they're desirous?
All right, so we're on the major platforms, so, the Facebook, Instagram. We have the website www.promobilesja.com, 7 Details is strictly Instagram. You know, we have numbers 671-1221, 618-0488, or 618-0458. So these are numbers that you can get us. Or just send us an email through the website. We'll get it.
Thank you so much, Dalian Blake.
Thank you for having me.
Great having you. And we know that people were blessed and inspired and encouraged. You want us to pull some gems from what he's heard?
We don't have time, but you have to get from this interview some of the gems. We certainly welcome your interaction on our social media. It is at The Business End Show for Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and TikTok. But if you want to leave the listeners and viewers with at least one apostle, what is that main point that you would have wanted to leave them with from this interview?
Well, he mentioned being client focused.
Yes.
You know, just focusing on meeting the needs of those you are serving.
Yes.
And I think that's big because many persons act as if they are doing you a favor.
Yes.
When you are doing them a favor by giving them business.
Yes.
And he has flipped it.
Yes.
And I love that.
Yes,
I love
yes,
that. He's
yes,
client-centered,
Yes.
focus on meeting the needs of the client.
Well, the major one I want to leave our listeners and viewers with is the fact that he says, continue work that thing until you master it. Mastery comes after you working it. And as you have that mastery of your business, then the business will certainly reward you for that effort that you have put inside that business. And that's where we close another episode of The Business End. And we want to say to our listeners and viewers of the Business End Tribe, you are the best. Continue to be your increasing best. Thank you.
Master Coach Apostle Courtney McLean and Business Coach Zidane Simister are powered up to share their expertise on the business end. But don't forget to tell a friend or a colleague. And of course, have your tools on hand, your notebook and your pen. Classes are in session every Tuesday, 3:30 on Gospel JA for the business end. Master Coach Apostle Courtney McLean and Business Coach Zidane Simister await you.